Hi everyone, and welcome to Dose of Truth Tarot Chats. We had a question. Woohoo!
Hey, we had a question from Help Yourself Healthy. I have a part question, part observation. In relation to the Gunas, Rajas would be fire wands, Tamas, earth pentacles. Would Sattva be a mixture between air swords and cups and water? And said, if it's not the right place to ask this question, please discard a card. Well, it's great that you asked
It's a great question. I think we might have to start with explaining what the Gunas are to everybody.
So one of the three primal qualities or elements of matter, right? And you might know a lot more about this than I do. I just want us to get into a little bit of a discussion of how it relates to the elements. So I really like what do you call Help Yourself Healthy said. But I think because the Gunas are three, so you have Sattvic, which is the consciousness, then Tamasic, which is movement of something, and Rajasic, did I say Rajasic? Movement. Tamasic is the physical. So Sattvic is, I think of a book. Rajasic is, I'm writing the book. Tamasic is, here is the physical book I wrote. Rajasic could be the movement of fluids in your body. Tamasic could be the stagnation of fluids in the body, right? And the consciousness is everywhere, right? Everything has a consciousness. The liver has a consciousness of organization. The heart has the consciousness of harmony. Everything has a consciousness. Like our eyes have the consciousness of seeing. We don't want our eyes to start hearing and our ears to start seeing. No, we don't want that to happen. So do you have another way of explaining it?
Well, I think the one thing about that, I loved the book analogy. I hadn't heard that before, but I always think about the fact you can't build a house without having the thought of building the house. And then you have to plan the building of the house and start building the house, and then it physically is there. And,
Right. And they all interrelate because you're going to have the three gunas within each guna.
Yeah.
So you kind of just brought up okay, I think about building the house and then I'm organizing how to build it, which could also be Rajasic, but it could also be that consciousness too. So there's always this interrelationship. Now, with tarot, we have 4 different elements, right? So I was thinking about it quite a bit after Help Yourself Help Yourself Healthy.
We'll call them healthy.
We'll call them healthy or help yourself. Rajas would be fire, but water would also be Rajas. Because water is moving, all the fluids in our body move, unless they become stagnant. Then it would become a stagnant pool.
Would not all of the elements be in all of the subcategories? Right. They'd all be within each one.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
So Tamas, let's say earth, is going to have the 3, but earth, the physical, is the Tamasic. That's the physical form. Rajas is the movement, like wind, which would be air, or a waterfall, right? That's going to be movement as well. And then Sattvic is going to be the consciousness, which has to be sword. So we have 2 that dictate the literal Sattvic consciousness, which is swords, Tamasic, which is the physical, but the other 2 are elements in our body that actually move things, or elements on the earth that are moving.
Yeah, so the emotions move, and
the emotions move, my creativity is moving, or we say, I've got a creative block.
Yeah.
Right? So if I was thinking that, it would be so much fun because I do health readings using the chakras. But if we do a health reading using questions that involve the gunas, so you could ask questions like, what guna am I struggling with? And I don't know enough about, I used to know this, but I don't know it anymore, but kapha and pitta, and there's those 3.
Oh yeah, from the Ayurvedic system.
From Ayurveda, Ayurveda. So those constitutions as well, that you could sit and ask questions and see, what do my gunas look like, that would be really general. Like, let's say you put out a 9-card spread and you were thinking, okay, well, if I get a dominance of stagnant fire, well, then I know the movement of my fire isn't working, which could be creativity, it could be sexuality, it could be, certain organs are not getting enough of that impetus or potency to move, especially if anger is not running properly through the body. It could be running too much. And, you get people who get too much anger running through the gallbladder, and they get headaches. But the headache feels stagnant, yet the anger is forcing itself through, but it gets stagnant. So then you've got sort of this tamasic fire, but then part of your body has too much fire. Or maybe the water would dominate. Like, I would look at a 9-card spread and see which element is dominating. Or if they're all balanced, great. But if you have a 10 of batons coming up and that's your fire, well, it could be in too much of an extreme place that it's stagnant but ready to move. You'd have to look at the other cards to see, well, is there some water coming in to help moderate this? Is there a consciousness shift? Maybe there's a tower card. And if the tower comes in, it says, all right, something's about to shift. Or, you're headed down the road and you're going to have a big problem, which would mean you're in 10 of wands, and then you might have some stagnation coming up after. So 10 of wands, and then you have 5 of coins coming up. So your physical body would struggle with this 10 of wands. But if the 10 of wands comes in and then you have 4 of cups, it's like, okay, well, your emotions will start moving. And likely you could say it's anger, but you can also say that it's stress that would be moving. Maybe it's temporary stress. Because you can look at a reading and see, am I temporarily stressed, or am I stressed over a lifetime from all of the traumas that haven't really moved through my body? So I think what would indicate that is the swords would come in. So 9 of swords, which is usually represented by cruelty, or 10 of swords, it would say, okay, your consciousness is not allowing this to shift. So this could be a 10-hour talk, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could go into so many scenarios and doorways with this. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I would recommend you play with something as simple as a 9-card spread, that you ask, what is going on with my gunas? And then you start looking for what's dominant, what's healthy, what's unhealthy, what needs adjustment, what doesn't need adjustment. And that way you know where it's involved. If it's a physical issue, like let's say you have a cold, you could ask, what's going on with my tamas? And it's, you get more like 7 of cups, which is that in Crowley, it's a green card, so it's got this kind of green mucusy look at debauchery. All the fluids in the body are kind of gummed up. Then you might get 5 of coins that says, okay, the body's doing all kinds of things. But does that mean you're unhealthy? Not really, because we know that a cold is the body cleaning itself out. Well, all disease really is the body trying to heal itself. But would you be unhealthy? I think that if swords come in and I am saying, why do I have a cold? And I shouldn't have a cold, and what's wrong with me? Then you might prolong the cold. You're not sitting back going, well, the body's doing what it needs to do to go through to rest and recover. And you may, if you do get the 7 of cups, it tells you, come on, rest. Recover.
If you don't get colds, that's a sign your immune system might be screwed, because it can't even take care of the basics. So they're good, they're healthy.
Yeah. And that's an axiom we know from Chinese medicine, from how the body heals. It's an indicator that it's doing its job. And the best one is I think, to have a cold, right?
Yeah.
Which spooks me out because I haven't had a cold in a really long time.
Ooh. Yeah, something to shift. Yeah. So it's a beautiful way of like doing readings on your health and getting some awareness, and the cards might tell you what to do to work through it as well.
Yeah, or just like even having Seven of Cups, which is such a mucusy looking card, right? You might read it as, well, my emotions are all over the place, but they may not be. It just can be especially if you're directing it as a health reading, it would say, well, your fluids are doing some cleaning. And because it's in 7, it's like, well, you got to rest.
Yeah.
I've seen this many times where I say, well, you have to rest. Oh, I can't. I've got the kids and I got that. Well, all right. But then, you'll be coughing and you'll have this cold for a month instead of the 2 days that the body requires to go through a virus.
Yeah.
Or a bacteria or whatever it needs to go through. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yes, thank you. Healthy. That was fun. And let me know what kind of readings you come up with.
Yeah. And any questions, put them in the chat. If you don't know how to do a 9-card spread or anything else, check out our course. Have a delve into tarot. And any more questions, send them across. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, don't forget, smash that like button. Subscribe. It really helps us out. The basics, grassroots, help spread the word, and especially if people want to do some work for free. People complain about money sometimes, and here you've got a lot of, you have to do a little bit of work to catch up, but you do that on your own, and we're here to give you some guidance.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you another time.
See you in the ethers.
Okay, thanks. Bye everyone.
Bye.